Hey, good afternoon, everybody. Welcome back to the Retired Guy's Garage. So, what do I got on tap for today, you may ask? Well, I'm here to tell you. So what we're going to do today, we've had these little projects going on with the Honda here and there. We put some new mud flaps on it, put the wheels on it, just to kind of dress it up a little bit. What I'm going to do today is, let's face it, the car is 20 years old. It's an '05. But ain't she a beaut? But a very nice 20-year-old Honda Accord with almost 175,000 miles on it. So, and I've told y'all before, needs to last a while. So I want to do little things here and there to, just kind of dress it up a little bit and make it look a little nicer. I don't know if that's even possible because it looks pretty darn good the way it is. But what we are going to do today is we are going to replace the pinstriping. I'll bring you in closer here in just a few seconds and show you that the pinstriping, the black still looks pretty good, but it's actually a black and then a grayish, silverish pinstripe above it. The grayish, silverish hasn't really stood the test of time. Thinner stripe, it's tape. So it is what it is. It's probably been on there since 2005, so can't complain. But what we're going to do is we are going to peel all that pinstriping off. You can see where the blue tape is. So I've kind of marked where the pinstripe is now, down the side of the car. Where it starts, where it ends, where it starts, where it ends, depending on which end of the car you're on, I guess. But, so that's what we're going to do today. But, so what do we have here? Well, we have TFX Premium Grade Vinyl Professional Striping Systems. So let's face it, I got on Amazon and this was the only company that had the color I needed. So could I have gone back with just black? Sure. But I wanted to go back and put back on what was on there originally, so that's what I did. And what are we going to use to get this striping, the old pinstripes off with? Well, we are going to use a Napa Professional Air Tools Pinstripe Removal Tool Kit. Of course, I'll drop links to all this stuff down below. But this is one of the tools I picked up off of off the old GovDeals website and got a really good deal on it. So thanks to Chuck from Pike County Communications, took good care of us, took good care of me on that, as well as the angle die grinder I picked up at the same time. So, and we're about to get drowned out because there's a bus coming through. The joys of working outside. Now, here's the thing. Clearly, I've never used it. So you can use these this pinstripe removal tool to, of course, remove pinstripes, but you can also use it to remove decals and all that stuff too. So, as you can see, I have never used said tool. Matter of fact, I just took the protective plastic off of it 5 minutes ago before I started making the video. So I have never used said tool. So we're going to kind of learn together how this thing works. So I'm going to get this thing unpacked real quick. And I think what I might do is I might just do one section at a time. I may just remove this quarter panel piece here, install a new piece. I don't know. I haven't decided yet. Haven't decided how I'm going to do it yet, but I'll figure that out as I go. Basically, what I'm trying to tell you is there's no set plan as to how I'm going to attack this. Welcome to the Retired Guy's Garage. We have no plan. So, but with that being said, let me put you on pause for just a second. I'm going to get that tool opened up, and see what's in there and see what we need to put it together to make it work. Stick with me. I'll be right back. All right, so as you can see, the gray part of the pinstripe has really kind of gone toward the wayside and is no longer there. But black held up pretty well. But we're going to get rid of it all and we're going to change it out. So, but that's that. So let's take a look at this tool and see what it does. I guess I should have mentioned, of course, that it is air powered. So if you're going to use this tool to do this type of job, you're going to need an air compressor. I don't know if there's any electric versions of this tool available. I really don't know the answer to that question. I haven't looked, but of course I have the, you know, the whatever it is, 6-horse, 60-gallon compressor in the garage, so I can run this tool. So basically all it is this tool here, which I have no idea what it does. A bunch of pads, new eraser. They call them eraser pads, is what they call them, and the mounting. This was the mounting stud was already attached to the one pad down on the bottom. So, and a wrench to hold this with when you're tightening up the pad. So that's the tool in a nutshell. So all it is just a bunch of extra eraser pads and the original one that came with the mounting stud on it already. So, and this thing, no idea what that does either. I suppose one of these days I should probably read the instructions, find out. Probably not. Okay, let me get you set back up again, and we'll start using this thing and see how it does. All right, so I got you a little bit closer here so you can see, just for my own reference, I kind of put the blue painter's tape on all the way down the side of the car so I can tell kind of where it starts and ends and kind of the direction it goes, so that I'm not guessing when it gets down the line here. So, all right. Let me get this tool plugged in and we'll get you back on and give it a shot, see what happens. So the tool is a pretty torquey little thing, I'm not going to lie, and I'll apologize. My air fitting's leaking a little bit, but hopefully that won't annoy you too much. Of course, when you're doing something like this, always make sure you've got eye protection on. Safety first. So now let's hit this thing and see what it does. I believe it rotates clockwise. It does. All right, let's see what happens. Now, the good part about the black still being intact is that it has kind of left a shadow where the old pinstripe was. So that's kind of nice, actually. So what I'm going to do is go all the way down in between the two pieces of tape, get all this complete section off, and then I'm not quite sure how I'm going to do the rest of it. But anyway, I won't make stand here and watch all this, because it's just going to be a lot of noisy compressor and noisy air leak and me grinding away on this thing. So I'll bring it back in a few seconds when I'm ready to put the new pieces. Alright, so back to this. Word of caution, anytime you are using a rotating type of anything on paint, be careful. Because I believe I got a little bit too aggressive with the pressure, and the eraser wheel left some marks. So I had to come back over with a buffer and some Meguiar's, not a sponsor, but it's just a product I use. Meguiar's One-Step Compound, number 67, and just cut all that out with a buffer, and you know, good old Harbor Freight buffing wheel. So that's what I did. And after looking at it, I can see that this car really needs a buff and wax. The whole car, not just this part. So, but that's, you know, so, you know, I say that to say that if I can help you to avoid mistakes, I'm going to do that. So, and they clearly call it an eraser wheel because it really does smell. Once you get going with it, it kind of lets off little bits as you're working with it that really resemble an eraser. So that's probably what they call it, an eraser wheel. But yes, so we are there, and I think maybe on the rest of the stripes, on the rest of the pinstripes, instead of having the wheel going this direction, I may turn it and go this direction and just follow the lines, follow the pinstripe lines, instead of moving the pinstripe as it's coming off all over top to bottom. So Hopefully that'll eliminate maybe eliminate some of the marks and maybe not go so heavy with the pressure. So, but let me get you turned off here for just a second. I got to get the pinstriping opened up, and we'll start putting it back on. So let's see what it looks like. Stay with me. I'll be right back. All right. So what I'll do when I'm working with this is I'll just kind of lay the roll up on the car, unroll a little bit more than you need, of course, to give yourself room to work. Two things. This is a 150-foot roll of pinstriping tape, which is way more than we're going to need, of course. But unfortunately, that was the only size I could find. I want to say the pinstriping roll was, I don't know, I think it was about $18 or so, if I remember correctly. But like I said, of course, I'll drop a link to it on the down below. I tried using Goo Gone to get some of those marks off first. That didn't quite do the trick to my liking, so that's when I started. I actually tried doing it by hand with a Turtle Wax hand rubbing compound first, and I wasn't real happy with that either. I didn't think it took it off, so that's when I, went into the old Harbor Freight buffing wheel and went that route with it. So, so anyway, when you're doing this, you don't want it to be super hot outside, but it can't be really cold either. So, above 50, I think is what the directions say. I'll check it when I'm off camera and let you know for sure, but I think it's got to be at least above 50. But you don't want it super hot that, that you're burning your fingers when you're putting this on. So, it's pretty simple to apply, hopefully. So it's got a backing, like a paper backing on it. And when you're working with the pinstriping, I'll drop off about a foot or so of the backing. So what you don't want to do when you're working with pinstriping is you don't want to stretch it. Okay, you don't want to pull it and stretch it. You just kind of want to lay it down. And then kind of just lightly go over it with your finger just to stick it. Because remember, when I get to the back, I'm going to have to pull the gray spot, the gray line off to start angling it down so that it meets the black. So just bear that in mind when if you decide you want to do this to your car as well. So, but what we'll do is we'll go ahead and go all the way to the back here, and as you'll notice, I kind of went longer than I needed to. When they did this, whoever did this, I don't know if this was factory or not. I really don't know the answer to that question. When they did it from the factory, they kind of left a little gap here. I am not going to do that. I'm going to go all the way over the edge so that something doesn't catch on this and pull the tape off. So that's just kind of the way I do it. You can do it however you see fit, but if you want to mimic what was there before, by all means go right ahead and do so. But I just like to run all the way over the edge just in case, just so that it doesn't catch and pull it off. So. And then the other thing to remember when doing this is this comes with a little piece of tape that holds it together, that holds the ends of the pinstriping together when it's in the package. Make sure you hang on to that, because this stuff will unravel and fall and be all over the floor and make a big mess in your shop. So make sure you keep that piece of tape there so that you can tape the ends back together when you're finished up with the job. Okay, and that's it for that part of it. Like I said, don't forget, I'm going to go ahead and cut this to where it's supposed to end. I'll peel it back a little bit, make sure I'm in the right spot, and peel it back. And then, of course, remember I said there's two layers. There's this paper backing that covers the sticky side, and then there's also a clear plastic covering, almost like a cellophane, that covers, that goes over the top, that holds the decal, the two stripes, in the right position. So let me go ahead and cut this. I'll end it where it's supposed to end, and then we will I'll kind of peel it back. I'll kind of peel the gray stripe back a little bit, and it's gonna have to come back to about here where it starts coming down, so that they meet down below. So, all right, stick with me. I'll bring it back when it's finished. Stand by. All right, and that piece is done. I am not gonna waste the next hour and a half or 2 hours probably it's going to take me to do this job, filming all this. So lather, rinse, repeat for the rest of the car. And always, like I said, make sure you keep an eye on that wheel, not too much pressure. You don't want to burn the paint, you know, especially on a car with a paint job that's still in such nice shape as this one is. And boy, I'll tell you, after I hit this thing with a buffer, it really showed me that I need to buff this car out and wax it. So after I get the stripe down and I've removed the protective covering over the top of it, I will just take a soft cloth, very soft cloth, and run down the stripe. And that will get out any of the air bubbles, you know, that'll take out about, if there's any air bubbles in there. There shouldn't be in this small of a space. So just run it down there. And I think the directions say you can't wash or wax the car for 72 hours. So 3 days. Got to let this bake. And you can see how I picked just picked the silver stripe up a little bit back to about here is where it starts, where I started to angle it back down again, and then just cut it off at the edge so it matches the edge of the black as well. So, all right, so we're gonna get to this. We're gonna go get to the rest of the stripes on the car. I don't even know if I'm gonna finish it all today. I may not. I may just get this side done and call it a day. It's getting kind of late. But I thought it was kind of a fun project to do, and something y'all might want to try as well. So, do you need one of these fancy pinstripe removal tools? No, of course not. You know, I always do stuff on a budget when I can, or if I have to. So, if you don't have an air compressor, like I said, I don't know if they make an electric version of this or not. But what would stop you from throwing that eraser disc in the end of a cordless electric drill, excuse me, and using that? I don't see why you couldn't. And those eraser wheels, I'll drop a link to just the eraser wheel on Amazon and show you where you can get those as well. And those will, I think they just mount right into the end of a cordless electric drill, a cordless drill. And you can use it that way. Or, you know, if you really want to go old school, you know, grab a heat gun and the old fingernail and just start peeling away. Is it going to take a lot longer? Yeah, sure is. But you can still do the job. And I mean, look at the difference in just that one panel as opposed to all this. So looks good. I'm real happy with it, and like I said, I'll bring it back and show you the finished product of the whole car as soon as it's done. So stick around, I'll be right back. And we are back. Well, sort of. You can't see me, but trust me, I'm here. You're going to see my hands in just a second. All right, so we have finished this side of the car. You can see where I've hit it with a buffer here, but up here, not so much. It's nice and smooth. I know this may or may not come out on the microphone, but you can feel how nice and smooth, hear how nice and smooth that is, and not so much there. So we're going to be hitting this whole car with a buffer here in the next couple of weeks, so we can get this car shined up nice. I really thought the paint was in pretty good shape, but I guess it really needs a buff badly. So remember on the back, the top stripe, now I have not gone over this one yet with the rag to kind of push it in. you know, kind of cinch it down with the rag running over the top of it, because I need to pull this upper stripe back off again, peel it back a little ways and start angling it down toward the front. So let's see if we can do this without totally messing it up. That would be really nice. Okay. All right, let's see. I believe it's going to be right about here. Remember what I said, don't stretch this, just nice constant pressure. And there we go. Now, as you can see, obviously, actually I think I'm going to pull that back a little bit further and start that back a little bit further, start that angle a little bit further back. Oops. Definitely do not want that to happen. All right, there we go. And I'll grab a knife real quick when I finish up and just cut that off even. And like I said, when you're done, just go ahead with a nice soft cloth, obviously, and run your finger over it real quick. Just kind of cinch that down into the paint. And of course, after the sun bakes this on over the next day or so, then it'll be semi-permanent. It's never really permanent, but clearly, as you saw, I took it off. So the only issue I ran into was back here under the mirror. Make sure you can see what I'm talking about. So the only issue I ran into was under the mirror here. I didn't have enough room to get the wheel in, so I couldn't wheel this off. So all I did was I came back as far as I could, and then I jumped back over onto the other side of the mirror and took the rest of the door off. And for the tape that was still left under the mirror, I just got the heat gun out and my fingernail and peeled it back. It was only a section about yay big, so not that much at all. But that's pretty much it for this one. So let me run you down the side of the car here real quick and show you what it looks like. And then, like I said, I'll just grab a knife real quick and snip the end of that off. So, all right, well, let me put you back up here real quick, and now we'll finish this video up. That's going to wrap up this video. I really hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you learned something. Hope you enjoyed watching it as much as I enjoyed making it for you. So, you know, today was just kind of a fun project, more or less. Nothing real labor intensive, but nonetheless, I think it made the car look a lot nicer, and clearly shows me that I need to get on this thing with a buffer, because the car looks nice where I buffed it, and I really wasn't even aware how dull the paint had gotten. So, but that's a project for another day. As always, enjoy the video. Make sure you hit that like button, and as long as you're right there, if you would just go ahead and mash that subscribe button and subscribe to the channel, you'll know when all the new videos are coming out. Of course, make sure you mash that notification bell so you know when they come out as well. Hit that subscribe button, that helps me more than you know, and just makes the YouTube analytics go crazy, and, you know, confetti falls and all that good stuff that happens when you hit that subscribe button. Just kidding. None of that stuff really happens, but it drives up my numbers. So great, awesome. Appreciate y'all watching. Thank you so much. It means more than you'll ever know. If you want to catch me on social media, I'm right here on YouTube, of course, Instagram and Facebook at The Retired Guys Garage, and I'm also on X, Twitter, TRGG2024, TRGG2024 on X. If you want to send me an email, always love to hear from you. Email address is trgg2024@gmail.com. That's trgg2024@gmail.com. And make sure you head on over to my Etsy store, please, because buying some merchandise from me would really help support the channel. So go pick yourself up a hat or a t-shirt, maybe a license plate for the front of your truck, car, whatever. Supporting the channel really helps. That's it for now. As always, appreciate you watching. Thank you so much. Y'all be safe. Take care. And I look forward to seeing you on the next one. Bye for now.